19th of May 2020. Good afternoon from Europe. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are, guys. We are right ahead of the New York FX Open. Piotr here, this is Light Forex Global YouTube channel, and we are going to make a little bit of the update when it comes to the currencies, when it comes to the indices, especially ahead of the Powell. The Powell will testify today, so that's gonna be very, very interesting, especially that I think we got few hints during his Sunday interview, right? So let's have a look what we have on the charts without the further delay. Let's start with the euro dollar. Okay, so euro is going a little bit higher. The thing is that yesterday, so one day move, right? One day move yesterday broke the few days of consolidation, and we closed a little bit higher above that consolidation. So we are approaching towards another possible supply close to 983. That's how I see the things. So what I'm gonna to watch when it comes to the euro dollar, first important thing, how we are going to behave around the top of the consolidation, right? Because what happened, we had some stops to the downside, we had some stops to the upside, and we approaching the upside again, right? So that's quite important thing. So the question is if the Powell is going to, you know, after the Sunday interview, if he's going to kill the dollar during his testifying. Well, we will see. It also could turn out to be the midweek reversal, so it's gonna be very, very interesting. Anyway, if you are a bull and you think we are going to break through that consolidation and we are going to get the close above 110, that's the psychological level, that's the figure, right? That's really, really important. If the market is going to manage to close above that, right? So meaning that gonna hit stops, gonna to challenge this one strong candle and stuff like this, then we might double the latest consolidation. So meaning that if we are consolidating between, let's say, 107.50, 110, 250 pips, meaning that 1250 then could be challenging, right? So we might look for the stops above here, and we might want to retest yearly open red dotted line, right? Of course, if we are going to fail here, right, and we are going to probably see the move back towards the bottom of that range, and again, if we are going to break the bottom of that range, 250 pips below 107.50 is gonna give us 105. So either way, if we are going to see the breakout of the consolidation, 112.50 or 105 could be the first target. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the euro dollar from the smaller time frame perspective. So when it comes to the intraday trading, when it comes to the intraday trading, when we are looking for supply, that's the supply, right? That's the supply, and we are hitting this supply during the European session. We are talking about this demand zone, right? Run higher, break lower. So that what was supposed to work as a demand now is working as a supply. That's thing number one. If you remember our latest educational videos, we do have the one candle strength, right? So also, as you can see here, we reacted right here, all right? Of course, we have to take into the consideration the high as a stops above 1020, but that's where the possible supply should be in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the possible demand, so if you are a bull, right? This Riley, I think the pullback during the European hours consume the demand over here. So I would rather take the look at this 1, 2, 3 formation over here, right? We discussed before where the third was nicely rejected, third test was nicely rejected, right? But I'm not gonna look at the top, right? As you know from the previous webinars, there are a little bit better places to buy when it comes to this type of the formation. In that case, I'm going to look for a little bit lower levels down to 108.80, 108.70, right? So the top number 2 and the top number 1, right? 1, 2, those two tops are as eventually the buying zone. There is a one more untested zone, and it's lower down towards here, right? We are talking about the levels close to 108.45, 108.30. So that's how it looks from the euro dollar intraday perspective. Think we are testing nice supply. I added a little bit. I'm gonna to start to think about being neutral or turning intraday bullish only on a daily close above that high. Okay, so that's euro dollar from my perspective. Of course, right after the Powell later today, everything could easily change. Now the cable, well, that's the weekly chart of the cable, and we are testing the lows we've seen 2 weeks ago, right? As you can see. So there, from the weekly chart perspective, there is a little bit of the supply. This supply is higher than 2240 we discussed the other day, all right? But if we are going to get the upper shadow and daily close lower, especially daily close below yesterday high, that would be significant development. What was the yesterday high? 22, 27, 28, right? So that's the significant level when it comes to the line in the sand today. Because if we are going to manage to hold above, that could be alternatively, you know, those hot money from here and here could push the market higher. So the weakest shorts are gonna be challenged, right, to rebuy. They were selling, move higher, they have to rebuy, they have to cover their short position, meaning that partially the bears might be responsible for further move higher on the cable. Is it going to happen? Well, I think that the good thing is to monitor euro British pound. That's what we are going to discuss with the next update. So what was behind the latest dollar weakness? Well, for sure the earlier mentioned Powell interview, right? But also the situation in Europe, right? And with this recovery fund, where both powers, France and Germany, trying to establish this 500 billion fund, call it European Recovery Fund. What is even more important here, that's gonna be rather grants than lending. That's something significant, right? Grants, not loans. And the Italy and the Spain are really happy because of this. And of course, the spreads when it comes to the European bonds are narrowing. So this type of the things supporting euro. On the other hand, when it comes to the pound, we have this Brexit uncertainty, and the euro pound is much higher. So trying to summarize this update, it might be wise, it might be smart to watch euro pound and trying to, based on that pair, what is going on there, to try to trade either euro from the long side versus dollar, or eventually to try to trade pound on the short side, right? Because as long as euro is going to move higher against the British pound, right, and there is going to be like a little bit of the, let's say, recovery when it comes to the dollar, so then you wanna be short the weakest currency. In that case could be the British pound. So overall, looks like it's all about the Powell this afternoon. Well, we've seen the stocks Riley post his comments, especially that with the mandate to buy single stocks and ETFs, Fed have some kind of the alternative to the vaccine. Well, but I think that it's still some kind of the delusional thinking, and this that's what I can say, right? There's nothing has changed. The coronavirus is still here. There is still 20 million plus when it comes to unemployment in US. I have a possibility to check what is going on in Europe with my network. So yeah, of course, in some countries the bars are again opened and free of movement, but that's not enough. And as Powell said, the full recovery, it may take through the 2021, end of the 2021. With that being said, we have to check if the spending, if this printing out of the nowhere, right, is going into the right direction. Because if not, then come on, what we are talking about. Anyway, guys, going back to trading, we discussed the levels from the intraday perspective when it comes to the euro dollar and cable. Don't be trapped, be careful, higher volatility, lower exposure, that's how it goes. It was my pleasure to make that update for you, and if necessary, I'm gonna make one more around the US Open, US Cash Open, or closer to our the US and close New York session. All right, so with that being said, all the best and see you around, guys. Take care and goodbye.